They always say this, don't they? Oh, you know when you're pregnant. Like you have this gut feeling. I did not experience that. My boobs started hurting. Took the test. Next thing comes up. Pregnant. Welcome back, everybody. I am so happy that you are here again. And if this is your first time, welcome to the mum club of all mum clubs over here on Normal Mum. If you're watching this, right, on video, I do apologize for my lack of lips. I have lost my lip liner. Now, I'm not a lipstick. I am not a lipstick girl, okay? Clearly, I'm not someone with very good diction either, but there we go. I am someone who loves a really good lip liner, and I will not change between two. Morphe Sweet Tea, love it, and a Charlotte Tilbury Iconic Nude. I love them. Only problem is the cost. They are the same cost as a takeout on a Saturday night. They're the same cost as lunch, brunch with my mum. They are the same cost as, I don't know, clothes for my kids and clothes for myself. Like, why must they be so expensive, please? That is my question. And I know you pay for good quality stuff and I love them. I really do. And to be fair, the Morphe one is only £4.50, but it's always out of stock. Always out of stock. But anyway, that's just where I'm at, okay? So I've got no lip liner on today and I'm pretty sure my lips are probably the same colour as my skin. So if you're looking at it thinking, is she ill? No, she's not. She just hasn't managed to buy herself a new lip liner yet. But anyway, on to the episode. Today, we're talking about pregnancy. This is like one of my favourite things to actually talk about. And I thought that episode 2, it's only fitting that we keep diving into a little bit of story of, you know, what my journey is, right? To kind of just paint this picture of my motherhood journey. Okay, so let me talk about pregnancy. Let me set the scene. Picture this, 21, newly married, just bought your first house, 2 months in, you're renovating, stripping wallpaper, life could not be any better, and boom. Positive pregnancy test. Now, let me give you a bit of context, okay, with the pregnancy test. Let me tell you why I took it, because everyone's always like, they always say this, don't they? Oh, you know when you're pregnant, like you have this gut feeling. I did not experience that. So I don't know what happened to me in that process, but I did not experience that, oh, you know when you're pregnant, until I was pregnant. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm pregnant. So anyway, a bit of background. I had just changed contraception, okay? So I was on the pill and I haven't really got my life in order, I'll be honest. I am just the worst person ever when it comes to organization. I procrastinate like hell. I hate it, okay? So I was on the pill and I remember just not taking it, point blank. I would always forget. They always say you need to have it at the same time. Well, I didn't want to take it in the morning because I didn't enjoy taking it in the morning because it made me feel a bit sick when I was taking it in the morning. I didn't like taking it before bed at night because sometimes it would just like, you know, when it just gets lodged, you feel like it's in my throat. I would just feel like it's in my throat. So I just never found a good time to take my contraceptive pill. I decided the best decision, because I didn't want to have a baby because I was 21, the best decision would be to go and change my contraception. So anyway, went to change my contraception. They took me off the pill and I went on the injection, okay? And I knew that I had like 2 weeks, I think, like to wait. And so I wasn't going to be wearing protection in that time. And I just assumed, which is so ridiculous, I just assumed that I wouldn't get pregnant because I still would have, you know, something in my system from changing from one contraception to the other. Anyway, there's me living my best honeymoon life. Like I literally was 2 months into my marriage. Like, you know what that stuff's like, you know, sorry, mum, if you're listening, but, and I lived at home. So even more sorry if you're listening, because we were renovating our house. So I was still living in my mum's house. We were having sex all the time. It was a great time of our life. Whatever time of day it was, like, you know, we're just gonna have sex. Okay. This is how we were. I didn't even consider the fact that I might get pregnant in this time. Anyway, went to get the injection, which, by the way, is in your bum. Like, I didn't know this. There I am, like, rolling up my sleeves. I'm rolling up my sleeves ready to get this injection, thinking that it's just going to be like, you know, an injection. And I kid you not, she was like, pull your pants down. And I'm thinking, what? And they injected me in my behind. So yeah, that was an experience that I was not ready for. But anyway, I went and had the contraceptive injection. So after then, when I started having like, all of these symptoms, which I now know to be pregnancy symptoms, I am a hormonal person. I have come to realize, like, you'll know if I'm on my period, you'll know if something's out of balance, and you'll know when I'm pregnant because I quite literally become a witch. And I am the worst person to live with. And I know that, and I hold my hands up and I blame it on my hormones. I know that I am a hormonal human being, to say the least. I was so ratty, so like impatient. Like I quite literally hated my husband. Like anything he said to me was just like the wrong thing. Like, when you just hit this point, it got to the stage where my boobs started hurting. Okay, so I was going through all these symptoms. And again, I just thought, this is the injection. I've changed my contraception. I've got new hormones. This is new. My body is adapting to the hormones that have just been injected. Anyway, I was out for dinner with my family. It was going to be my sister's birthday. We were out for a family meal. And when I tell you, the pain of my boobs was horrendous. Okay, awful. My family and I, my parents, my sisters, we are open. Okay? There is no room for hiding in our family. We just tell it as it is. We're extremely black and white, very cutthroat, and we will tell you exactly what we're thinking, what we're feeling in that moment. I'm not going to go into detail, but that's basically who we are. Okay? So I remember sitting there at this table and I just remember saying, my boobs are killing me. Like my boobs are killing me, point blank. Okay? And obviously I was at the table with my dad and he just went, oh, could you be pregnant? To which I went, absolutely not. Like, I've just changed my contraception. Like, I pleaded my case, okay? I was like, there is no way that I am pregnant, like, at all, right? So I'm just sat there and then, like, I'm thinking, but what if I am? Like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. And you're like going through like this inner turmoil in your head. So anyway, 2 days later, I was like, I'm going to take a test. Like, I hadn't had a period. Again, put it down to the fact that I was on this contraception and it's known that you stop periods when you're on this, okay? So I just put it down to that. I went upstairs and on my hen, my mum's friend, because she came too, she gave me like a set of pregnancy tests. And I remember being at home thinking, oh, I've got tests, they're upstairs. So I went upstairs and I got the pregnancy test and I went into my ensuite because where my mum was, I had my own little bathroom. So I knew no one was going to come in. And I went in and I took the test. And when I tell you, right, I was taking this test to rule out the fact that I was pregnant, like just to peace of mind. Like I did not think for 1 second that I was. Went in, took the test, 2 faint lines. I read the box because I've never taken a test before. Looked at the box. That means I'm pregnant. I thought, okay, I'll take another one. Took another test. The same 2 lines. It started like I started thinking, okay, this is happening. Like this is happening. I got it into my head that the tests that she had bought had been some kind of like jokey ones that even if you use it, it's always going to come up as positive. If I put it in water, put it in squash, put it in a can of Coke, it'll always come out as positive, okay? And I just thought, what kind of sick joke is this? You know what I mean? But I thought like, this is a jokey one, surely not. Anyway, like I said, I lived with my mum. So I had to think, how am I going to get an excuse to go to the local shop to buy a pregnancy test when we're about to go and watch Frozen 2 for my sister's birthday and I have no reason to be leaving this house? I thought, I know, I'm going to tell her I'm going to go and buy snacks. Went downstairs. I'm going to go buy snacks for the cinema, Mum. Why are you buying snacks for the cinema? You never buy snacks for the cinema. Oh, but I'm renovating my house. I'm on a budget. I want to go and buy snacks. She was like, all right, okay. And I think she asked me to get her grapes as well, like or something like that. So anyway, I went to the shop to get said cinema snacks, okay? Can I just say, why is it so nerve-wracking buying a pregnancy test? As a grown woman, buying things like pregnancy tests, tampons, condoms, that should be absolutely fine. But I don't know what it is. Whenever I buy any of these items, I feel like every single person in the shop is looking at me and everyone's going to go, I saw Karis buying a pregnancy test. When you just feel like everyone's just going to go home and just tell the world like, I saw someone buy a condom today. I don't know what it is about like these items, even like tampons. Like every woman has a period, but why is it so weird when you're buying them? Like you just feel like everyone's looking at you with judgment. I don't know. But anyway, I went to buy a pregnancy test, came home. I have not ripped anything open as quickly as what I did with that test. And this was like clear blue. Bought from the shop by myself. I am hiding from no one here. If I am pregnant, this is going to be the test to tell me. Took the test. Next thing comes up, pregnant. And my world just stopped in that moment. And I thought, oh my gosh, we're doing this. We're doing this. Called my sister because I didn't have the minerals to call my husband, I'll be honest, because I thought, I'm terrified about this, we've just got married, just bought a house. We can't afford a baby. Like, how is he going to react? Like, I was so nervous to see how he was going to react. So I thought, I'm going to call my sister, best friend. She'll be able to give me some, sisterly advice. Anyway, I call her and I say, I got something I need to tell you. I've just taken a test and I'm pregnant. And she loves kids, right? So she was like so happy for me. And I was like, no. I don't think you get this. Like, I'm 21. Like, I can't have a baby at 21. And I remember her saying to me, she just went and replied and was like, well, you are. And I was like, yeah, I am. And that was how I basically found out that I was pregnant. Okay. So anyway, had a quick conversation with my sister. She's like, are you going to tell Ben? When are you going to tell Ben? And I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't know how he's going to react. Like, there was all of this going through my head. Okay. But anyway, the plan of the evening was to go, like I said, and watch Frozen 2. And that's what I did. And when I tell you, I cried through the whole film. I cried through the whole film. And I was just like, it's just so emotional, Frozen. I just love Elsa. Like, I had to make this up. I was with my mum and my sister who had no idea what I had just gone through in that last 2 hours. And I didn't want to tell them. Like, I didn't even know how they were going to react because, again, we just got married. Like, we were renovating a house. Like, we just started our businesses. Like, we were not in the position to be bringing a child into this world. I know there's never, a good time, but there's always a bad time. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, I went home and went to bed. I didn't tell Ben that night. The next day, I wake up in the morning. As I said, we were in the honeymoon phase. He wanted to have sex with me. Okay, just woken up. I am not one for morning sex anyway, guys. I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't know if this is TMI, but I'm just not one for morning sex. For me, I want to brush my teeth. I want to be feeling good, feeling clean before I do anything of the sort. I'm not that spontaneous, right? So anyway, I tried to put him off. He was persevering. So I said, okay, well, I can't because I'm going to the doctor. And me being naive, I didn't know in that first doctor's appointment because I booked a doctor's appointment the next day to go and see, am I pregnant? Is this actually happening? I'd gone and done that. And I didn't know what that entailed, all right? So they'd referred me to a midwife and I didn't know if they needed to examine me. I didn't know if they were going to look at anything. Like I had no idea what that first, just to preface, if you plan on having a baby, they don't need to see anything that's going on downstairs, okay? They don't. But I didn't know this. So I just was like, I don't know what to expect. I thought maybe they would have to maybe look at me. So I didn't want any mess, shall we say, down there, okay? I wanted her to be nice and clean and cute, all right? That's how I wanted it. So anyway, I tried to deter him, but he was persistent. Let's just say that. And I just came out and said it. I said, he's like, why are you going to the doctor? Why are you doing this? Why are you not why do you not want sex with me, Gary? Like, it was like, it's like, what's changed? And I just had to tell him. And I just said, look, I peed on a stick last night and it came out that I'm pregnant. I'm going to go to the doctor. I'm going to go and check it out. I'm going to go and see what it all is about. But that's where I'm at. And I said to him, I didn't want to tell you until I really knew for sure. I went then that morning to the doctor's appointment with the midwives. And the experience was really lovely. Like, I didn't know they were going to ask me every single question under the sun, okay? But I was also I was a bit shaken up. I'll be honest. I was not planning on having this. I was not expecting this. So I was quite shocked and shaken up at the fact of, I'm going to have a baby. Did the appointment. They gave me everything, all the books and everything like that. And like when I was going home, I was like, okay, cool. Like this is it now. I am having a baby. It's official. I have the books. They've booked me in for a scan. This is what's happening. Like, you know what I mean? I am pregnant. You know, I was driving home. I was like, this is happening. I am with child. And when I tell you, right, the change that happens, I don't know if you listened to this pregnant or not, or had a baby. When you know that you are carrying a child, you see the world differently. I have never driven so slow in my whole entire life as what I did when I knew I was pregnant. I have never, like, you know, like sometimes you'll glance over at your phone in the car. None of that when I was pregnant. Like, it was like, I was so aware of every danger, everything I ate, everything I was like, I was so aware that I was pregnant that it was like, it would consume my thoughts. Do you know what I mean? Like, you just see the world as this one big dangerous place, or at least I did anyway. But like I said, I came home and like, you know, okay, I'm pregnant. Anyway, my sister comes home from school, okay? And we live in a very small area. Everybody knows everything about everyone, okay? Like, everybody knows whose daughter's whose cousin's that, and whose brother is, you know, whatever. It's a small town. So I'd gone obviously to the midwife area of the doctor's surgery, and someone had seen me. Someone had seen me text my, like, so someone's mum. So basically, I'm not explaining this very well, but my sister's friend, her mum had seen me talking in the midwife area of the doctor, had proceeded to text her daughter, who's my sister's friend, I have just seen Caris in XXX place. She's pregnant, or is she pregnant? Something like that. So this friend in my sister's school turns to her and goes, my mum's just texted me. She's just seen your sister at this place. Is she pregnant? Which, by the way, is not okay, in my opinion. Like, if you see anybody in the doctor's surgery, can we just give them the privacy that they deserve? Like, because this was just not okay for me, okay? So anyway, that had happened in that day. Bearing in mind, nobody knew. I knew, Ben knew, and my sister knew. Like, my other sister, not the sister that was in school. Nobody knew that I was pregnant. So this, like, person then told my sister's friend. Like, it was just like, let it be my news, like, you know, and it was just, anyway. She comes home from school. She comes in to the room where I'm with my mum and just comes out with this statement over me being in the doctor, to which I literally shoved her out the door. Literally, I shoved her out the door faster than I've ever pushed anything in my whole entire life. Shoved her out the door. And she asked me about it, and I just remember looking at her in the eye, right? And I remember saying this to her, yes, I am pregnant, and how do you know about it? And she's like 12, 13, 14, can't remember how old she is, right? Young. And she just looked at me and burst into tears because she was just like, I didn't think this was true, but you've just confirmed it. And like, I felt so bad, guys. I felt so bad. She was so young. She just wanted to know if the rumors were true. Like, you know what I mean? And I was like, so like, about it, because I was just like, what the heck? And obviously then, you know, I said to her, yeah, I am. And I brought her in on this big secret. And like, you know, she was so happy for me. That was the tears, guys. I didn't scare her that much. She was just so happy for me and like overwhelmed by the whole experience. But yeah, so she found out because somebody had told her through gossip. All right. She found out through a rumor, through gossip. But anyway, we rectified that situation, and then she was then obviously sworn to secrecy. But having living at home, I had to tell everybody, right? So anyway, I told my family, I told everybody that, you know, I was going to be having this baby. But this is the thing with pregnancy. I don't know what I was expecting being pregnant, but here are some of the things that I was definitely not expecting. First of all, like I said before, the pain in my boobs was ridiculous, in my opinion, and completely unnecessary. Like, ow, right? Ow. Secondly, the growth. Why do they need to be that big, please? They're not even holding milk yet. My boobs tripled in size. I was in lockdown when I was pregnant, and thank goodness for it, because the things that I was wearing was completely unacceptable, to be perfectly honest. I don't even recognize myself when I look at me pregnant, because the things I'm wearing is just awful. All right. Anyway, so the size of them. The pain, the size of them. Secondly, what happens to your nunny? I did not know that it swells. So I genuinely thought at one point, I am breaking. I am actually breaking, okay? Because, like, I don't know if this is TMI, but, you just know the size of your body, shall we say. Yeah, you know how it should feel, how it should touch. We know how this works. So when I one day felt that she was a little bit more cushioned, shall we say, than what she had been previously, I was traumatized. And I thought, what? Like, what is actually happening to me? Like, and there was so many things, like with pregnancy, like my boobs from 20 weeks were leaking. All right. I had a good supply. They were leaking from 20 weeks. We had, what is it called? The golden stuff, colostrum. That was coming out of me from 20 weeks. So from 20 weeks, I had to wear pads. And I was someone, I never wore a bra, right? I loved it. I had itty bitty titties that were perfect. They weren't tiny. They were a handful. They were lovely, right? They were lovely. And that's the other thing, okay? If you have not yet had a baby, please appreciate your body. At the time before I had baby, just like every other woman, you have your insecurities. You look at yourself through a completely different lens. You know what I mean? Like, with your own body. I'm somebody, okay, I can never put weight on. Like, I am naturally, my metabolism is really good. I am naturally extremely slim and skinny. I'm petite everywhere, okay? But at the time, like, I used to think I'm too skinny, like my legs are too skinny, my arms are too skinny, but I also used to work out. So I had a really lovely bum, and I am just going to say that now because I no longer have her and I grieve her every day. But I used to have a lovely bum. I also used to have lovely boobs. Like I said, a handful, but not too big that I couldn't just go about the house, not wearing a bra, or about the world not wearing a bra. I never wore a bra. So then when it came to being pregnant, I had to wear a bra, because I was leaking, and I wasn't like, I would wear tops, and all of a sudden you would just start seeing these tiny little drops of just juice, and it would stain my t-shirts when I'm out, and I'd be like, I can't do this anymore. So yeah, another thing that I wasn't expecting in pregnancy. The other thing with pregnancy, okay, one day I told my dad, I said, Dad, there is something wrong with your tap, because all I could taste in my mouth was like I was drinking a glass of water that had 1,000,000 coins in it. What is with that? Like, I know not everybody gets it, but I had it with my first pregnancy, and it was like everything I drank was vile. Like, everything tasted like I had coins in it. It was so bad, and I absolutely hated it. But that was that, okay? The other thing is the tiredness. So unnecessary. I mean, I know, I get it. Like, you are literally growing a whole new human. But like, that tiredness is ridiculous. How we're supposed to work, how we're supposed to live and exist and socialize and get up in the morning, I don't know. That tiredness is unlike any other tiredness I have ever and will ever experience is the first trimester. Okay? The second thing, no, this is definitely not the second thing. Whatever else, number thing, the hormones. Like, I am a beast. You will know when I'm pregnant. I am different, okay? I am different. The hormones that come with pregnancy made me a real life witch. And I don't know how people didn't just leave me there. You know what I mean? Like, it was horrendous. And it was during COVID. And I remember once I had this argument with my sister, all right? Couldn't even tell you what it was about. But we had an argument, and even my grandmother, okay, we were screaming. You know how sisters argue? We were screaming at each other. Like, I was upstairs, she was downstairs, and I was screaming at her. And she came out the house, and my grandmother was outside talking to my mum. And Fionn comes out, my sister, and she goes, I just can't stand her, and da-da-da-da, and all this. And even my grandmother was like, look, she's pregnant. It's the hormones. It's not her. It's the hormones. I think she was 84 at the time. Like, my 84, 85-year-old grandmother was even recognizing this girl has changed. Like, she is different. Okay. I remember when I actually had Solomon and like my hormones had balanced back out again. That is when I actually realized how different I was during pregnancy, was when I was no longer pregnant. It was crazy. Other thing about being pregnant. Okay. So you got the tiredness, you got the boobs, you got the, the areas of your body that swell. You've got, the tiredness. But the biggest thing for me with pregnancy, I think, is the known fact that my body will never be the same and the mental impact that that will actually have on you. I didn't realize how much my body image and those struggles would affect me. Like, I didn't even consider that when I found out I was pregnant. But honestly, give grace. You know what I mean? Give grace. We need to be out here giving grace to people who are pregnant and who are in their postpartum, because the postpartum, it doesn't end after 6 weeks. Okay, I'm really sorry to say it actually doesn't. I have had 2 kids now, and I am like technically, over a year and a half, I think, postpartum with Saint, because he'll be 2 in September. Like, I'm way past the postpartum due date. I'm gone. But literally, I don't love my body in the same way as what I do before. Don't get me wrong, I love it because it housed and it gave me my kids, and I wouldn't have the life and the babies that I have now if it wasn't for that. But at the same time, I just it doesn't hit the same. My boobs, they're not boobs like they was before. My boobs are now balloons that have been popped at a fair that just dangle on the side of a stall is what it looks like. Do you know what I mean? My tummy, I don't have stretch marks, but the evidence of the stretch is there. When I sit down, it all ripples up. You know what I mean? And it's completely normal. It's completely normal. But I just feel like those were the things, the hidden things of pregnancy and postpartum that were just not explained to me at all. Like when I was pregnant, And yeah, still to this day, like, I see the history, shall we say, of my body carrying my kids. And some days it gets me down, some days I'm proud about it, but that's just not normalized enough. And I wasn't aware of that when I was on this journey of becoming a mum and being pregnant and all of the changes that come with it. Like, I didn't realize that you grow to be that big. I did not realize that your bump gets that big. Like, I really didn't. I didn't realize that there's so much stuff you've got to take. The things you can't eat when you're pregnant, like cold meat. You just can't. Fuming. But anyway, that was me being pregnant. So that is how I came to find out that I was pregnant. That's a little bit about the things that I didn't expect when I was pregnant. But overall, my pregnancy experience was amazing. I didn't have any pregnancy symptoms with Solomon. With Saint, it was a different story. But I loved my pregnancy as much as I could. Like I said, it was in COVID, so it was tainted, shall we say, pretty lonely. I didn't get the baby moon. I didn't get to do all the nice things that you get to do when you're expecting a baby. I didn't even have any cravings, which I was quite sad about, because I heard all these things about people like sucking on sponges, and like my mum, she used to sniff petrol. It's so bad, I know, but that's what she used to do. And like people would have these cravings. Me, nothing. Like, so I kind of felt like I missed out on that side of things. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, my pregnancy was really, really just lovely. And it was such an amazing experience. My birth, not so much with my first, my second, yes. Maybe I'll talk about that in another episode. But honestly, pregnancy for me was really, really, really lovely. And like I said, with my body now, it's homed 2 babies. And I will never lose sight of that. And sometimes, I'll be honest, I'm a lights off girly now when it comes to activities in the bedroom, because I am quite self-conscious of what my itty bitty mini titties look like at this point. But yeah, I'm just aware a lot more, I should say, of what my body looks like these days in all kinds of lighting and all kinds of setting. But yeah, that was basically my unexpectedly expecting story. And it really has given me the gift of him. I've said it before, my last podcast, you should go and listen to that if you haven't already. It's about like how motherhood has completely changed my life, and it actually has. And being able to carry my kids is something that I will never, ever, 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 ever take for granted. It is just the best thing. But it does come with its unexpected moments, shall we say. And like I said before, my kids, they are like 5 years, 6 years, premature, really. Like, I was not planning on having the kids at 21, but such is life. And that was the direction that I needed to go on. And I'm so grateful for it. And I would never change it for the world now. But like I said, that first pregnancy of mine, it came with some unexpected things. Just in being pregnant in itself, right? To begin with. But anyway, that's it for that episode. Please let me know, like, what are the things with pregnancy with you that you just didn't expect? I love talking about pregnancy. I think it is hilarious talking about pregnancy because everybody has such different stories and I find it so interesting. Comment below, like, the thing that you didn't realize that was going to happen to you when you became pregnant. Please let me know because there is so much, right? There is so much. But anyway, thank you so much for listening. I appreciate it so much. Thank you for joining me here over on the Normal Mum podcast. Please, subscribe, follow us, come and join us, where we're just going to have this community over here of just normal mums going through the normal, everyday, run-of-the-mill stuff and talking about it and venting about it and laughing about it. That is the plan over here. But yeah, anyway, thank you so much. I appreciate it so much. Wherever you're listening from, I love you and goodbye.